Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Last Night I Watched. It's a Saturday morning. Saturday mornings are great for discussing movies. I'm here with the boys. This is Roman speaking. I got Carlos to my right. What's up, Carlos?
Hey, what's going on?
Good morning. And Ian over to my left.
Guys.
Hey, we're
Good to be here, as always.
It's the Saturday before the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Yep. So we're talking football.
Super Bowl Eve.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Super Bowl Eve, and what better movie to talk about than The Last Boy Scout? Bruce Willis, Damon Wayans. Is it Damon Wayans?
I say Damon.
Okay, because I'm like, I said Damon my whole
friends,
life.
It's like a meme, and some of my friends.
I gotcha.
Call him Damon.
Damon. Yeah.
Damon himself.
Well, there's a little bit of football in there. I mean, sort of, somewhat. The plot sort of revolves around it, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Damon Wayans is a football player.
yeah, ex-football player, all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a pretty fun watch. This was my first watch. I think Carlos, had you seen it before? You said last year? Or?
Yeah, I think I saw it a year or two ago. Ian actually showed it to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
it
forced
blew
him
me
to
out of the
watch it.
water. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa, what did you just show me, dude?
Yeah, it's a pretty wild movie.
Yeah. It kind of fits that mold of a buddy cop type thing. But
Yeah.
like you were saying, Ian, they're technically not cops.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a private investigator.
Yeah.
And Damon Wayans just lost his girlfriend. He's just
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
along for the ride.
Yep.
But yeah, I thought it was a good time.
It's good. I'm glad.
It kind of fits within the genre, but like also stands out in its own way. So
Yeah.
and it's perfect for Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one I like to watch around this time of year.
Mm-hmm.
You think you're so fucking cool, don't you? You think you're so fucking cool. Well, just once, I would like to hear you scream in pain. Play some rap music.
So what is the plot to this movie? It's an interesting plot. It's all revolved around sports gambling.
Yeah.
That's the MacGuffin.
Yeah.
Is
The legalization of sports gambling.
Yeah, because this one senator is very against it, and if it makes it sound like if he votes against it, then the legalization of sports gambling is not going to pass. And pro football is so not watched and unpopular in this world that basically the only thing that can save it is gambling.
There's 9 figures in gambling.
Yeah,
son.
yeah.
Billions.
I'm not your fucking son.
Yeah.
I'm not your fucking son.
Well, and then Bruce Willis holds the evidence over the owner's head, and he says, man, the mob would really like to hear about this because
Right.
you'd be cutting into
Yeah.
the profits.
He bluffs with the
Right.
mob because, of course, Bruce Willis would never deal with the mob like that. That's not in his character. But
Right.
yeah, that. But I do think it's interesting for the first half or even more of the movie. You think that the senator that he throws the glass at, you think like maybe he's kind of going to be the asshole, but it turns out he's the one that's more like, no, I'm not for gambling. All the other senators have been paid off by the owner.
Right, yeah.
So that's kind of like an important plot point that you don't know until later. So I like that sort of subversion. Like,
Yeah.
Again, it's a crime thing. It's a crime movie. Like you have one suspect, and then all of a sudden, like as the whole picture comes into view, you're like, wait a second, I had it wrong the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah. But the first half or so, like, yeah, what was the plot more so? Like he's protecting Halle Berry, but you don't know why for a little bit.
And Mike was going to, but he kind of got word that if he does this, he's most likely going to get killed. And that's why he wants Bruce Willis to do it. So if Bruce Willis gets killed, then he's got the wife all to himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason why Halle Berry gets killed is because I think they found out that she had the evidence.
Yeah, she was blackmailing already.
Because she was kind of screwing the owner, I think.
That's right,
She
yeah.
knew the owner. She had like a relationship with him,
right.
Damon Wayans says. But then I guess she was going to try to use her information
To get him back on the team, right?
Yeah, to get him unsuspended from the league and all that stuff so he
Yeah.
could play again.
Right.
And that's what they were on their way to her house to get that information and stuff.
Right.
And she was going to tell him all that and died right before she could.
Right.
So, more mystery and intrigue. Like, what was she doing?
Right, yeah.
You don't know that until later either. So
Yeah.
yeah. That was one thing I know we're talking about plot, but I just want to say I thought it was funny when they're driving and Damon Wayans is behind her and he hits the red light and he's like, oh man. I just like busted up laughing. I was like, you're the worst, like bodyguard, like detective.
Well,
You're
see, that's because that's like why are they going back to her place? I guess to listen to the tape.
She's
or
gonna
whatever?
show
She's
him like, check it out. I got all this information on the
okay.
owner
Oh,
and
it's
like
his birthday present.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. And really, because Bruce. That's why Bruce Willis is there because he's keeping an eye on her.
Yeah.
because that's his job.
Yeah, he's supposed
Yeah.
to be protecting, watching over her.
Even though
'cause
Mike's dead. But
Did Halle Berry hire them? Like, is that the idea? Like,
Yes,
some creep called
yes,
her and
yes.
said, like, threatened her, and so...
Yeah, I believe so.
Probably Milo called her and was like, "We're coming to get you."
Yeah.
You know, whatever your name is.
Speaking of phone calls, I like in the police department when he's like, "We've been getting word that the senator's been getting obscene phone calls, and we really hope that's not you, Joe."
Yeah.
And it's implied that it is. He's like, because they find a list of phone calls in Halle Berry's apartment, and one of the phone numbers, Bruce Willis recognizes, like, yeah, that's Senator blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's the one that's circled.
And then
That's
he's
the
like,
senator's
and then
number.
Damon Wayans is like, "How do you know that?" It's like, "All right, maybe I've called him a few times." Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, so you're the one.
Yeah.
You're the son of a bitch who's been leaving obscene phone calls. On
One of the
Senator's
callbacks to the in
voicemail.
the script. you
Yeah.
know? Yeah. No, a good script if you think about it.
Yeah.
You can see, like, I totally believe that he was smoking cigarettes and reading paperbacks
Yeah.
when he's writing that, because he's
Yeah.
reading, like, crime thrillers and shit.
Right,
And
exactly.
what always happens in a crime, like, thriller, like, all these clues from the beginning get tied
Yep.
back together. You know, it's nice when you can wrap those up in a nice little bow.
I think of L.A. Noire. Did you guys ever play that game?
Oh,
the
yeah,
Rockstar
that was a
game.
good one.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
never played it, but I saw, like, a playthrough of it.
I liked it. I thought it was pretty fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's another reason I keep associating this movie in my head for some reason with Big Lebowski, is because Big Lebowski's the
Right.
same.
Yeah. Right.
Like,
right.
and humorous too.
yeah.
Like, you know, there's comedy in it, and even like the meta humor a little bit to it, which is kind of ahead of its time. That's not really so much of a thing in the 90s.
Yeah. It was
Yeah,
a
they're
little
good.
like Scream is really meta.
Yeah.
I think that's when meta really started getting
Yeah,
to
like
that level.
in this era, kind of.
Yeah.
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 Did you ever see what's the other movie he did? Something Hawk,
Hudson Hawk, yes,
Yeah.
came out the same year.
Is it terrible?
I
It's-
wasn't a big fan. A
I've-
lot of people.
I've heard bad things.
So, a lot of people say that's underrated. Like how I say this is underrated.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. I choose this any day over that. It's okay. That was like a really big bomb, like money wise,
Mm-hmm.
like really really big bomb. It's like really it's kind of cartoony.
That's what I had heard about it. Like, it's
Yeah.
almost slapstick.
Yeah.
And it's Bruce Willis, and he still kind of plays the same character almost.
Not real. He's like a thief, and
Oh,
like I don't
interesting.
remember. Like he and like I think it's like Danny Aiello. They like they make these heists, and like they do it to the timing of music. From what I remember, I don't know. It was a strange. I wasn't the biggest fan.
Mm-hmm.
Like this was more up my alley. It wasn't
That's kind of
awful.
funny.
It wasn't awful, but at the same time, like, it's not a standout Bruce Willis to me. But then there are people like the people I listen to online that really like it. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't say don't watch it. If you guys are like want to watch Bruce Willis movies when he actually was acting and not doing what he does now,
Yeah.
yeah, sure, you know, give it a watch, see what you think.
Friday night's a great night for football. Cats and the Stallions ready to do it. Friday night's a great night for football. Sit back and relax and let's get down to it. It's gonna be a hell of a fight. We got a great night of football tonight.
I like that. I like the song in there. Friday.
Yeah, that's how it opens up.
I can't
That's how it
stop.
opens. That's how it opens up. It opens,
That's how
we
it
just
started.
opens up with just Friday night's a good night for football. And then it cuts to like ugly, rainy football field.
Yeah,
that's
that-
barely lit.
That sort of like set the precedent, I felt like, for
Yeah.
the movie, you know, like that sort of wacky, zany like song. It's kind of goofy.
Yeah,
It's also weird because, you know, we talked about it before, but you don't play footballs on Friday nights. I mean, high school
yeah,
does.
exactly.
but-
I was telling Roman that when you were in the house. Yeah,
yeah.
Oh.
yeah,
You
like
know-
it's like Friday night.
You know what it almost reminded me
High
of?
school.
Is it Escape from L.A., I think, when Kurt Russell's playing basketball and they're
Okay,
like at the
yeah,
basketball
yeah,
thing.
yeah, okay.
Like, it was almost like a dystopian version of football,
Right.
you know? Like,
Yeah,
like you said,
yeah.
barely lit up, rainy.
Yeah, just ugly, ugly, ugly.
Yeah.
I miss like because all their uniforms are like, you know, that time, you know, they're much looser. They had actual sleeves back then.
Mhm.
Like now they're all nice and they're very tight.
Yeah, very tight.
tight like a tiger.
Streamlined, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's kinda
like,
cool
I
seeing
feel
the
like
old
shoulder pads
uniforms.
used to be bigger back in
Yeah.
the day. Like, those guys just look massive. you know?
Right. Yeah.
It's just smacking into each other like
Yeah.
like bowling balls or whatever. I don't even know.
Exactly.
But
It's one of the craziest intros
Yeah.
that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
yeah.
Definitely an attention grabber. You're all you're just expecting a football game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then our guy Cole, he gets the call.
Billy Cole.
Billy Cole. I think that he's actually talking to Milo on the phone.
He's like, this is Milo, Billy.
Oh,
Yeah,
does he
that's
say his
right.
name?
Yeah, I think he does. Yeah,
Oh,
this
I
is
didn't
Milo.
realize that.
You know, you need to be scoring some touchdowns. A lot of money on this game.
Find a way.
Find a way.
Yeah.
And what a way to find.
Yeah,
right.
Well, so after the phone call, he proceeds to take some PCP. At least I
Oh,
think
yeah.
it's PCP.
I saw him taking stuff from a bottle.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
some
sounds
kind of
later
drug.
like the like he goes and blows his brains out while high on PCP.
Oh, yeah,
I think
the owner.
the owner guy says that or something.
Right.
Um,
That's right.
Yeah, and then he goes out, and I don't know what position he is because he's. I thought it was a running back, but he catches the ball. But he could be a running
Yeah.
back still. Just that's the play.
Mhm.
And
catches it.
yeah, then he proceeds to pull a pistol out of his pants and shoot the other players on the team and score a touchdown.
Yeah, for a minute I thought like nobody was gonna notice.
Could you imagine being at a game and just one of the players just starts shooting other players on the field?
Jeez.
Like, what'd you do? Like, it's like, well, do they keep playing the game? Like,
Does that touchdown count?
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Did you win
It's
the
like,
money or
what
not?
happens. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, did the point spread still get met?
Yeah, right.
Because it would have tied the game. They were down. I was actually paying attention. They were
down
It was
7.
17-10.
Yeah.
So that would have, assuming that the kicker went and kicked the extra point after he blew his brains
Right,
out,
right.
it would have been 17-17. Yeah.
They just scoop the brains out the field and get the kicker on.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey,
Yeah.
it counts.
Yep.
Yeah.
The game must go on.
And then Billy Cole has that killer line.
Yeah.
Ain't life a bitch?
Yeah. Did you guys read? I don't know if this is true. I haven't read the script. Did you read anything about what it was originally supposed to be?
No, no.
So online it says he originally was going to say, "I'm going to Disneyland," and then he blows his brains out.
Holy crap.
Which I don't know if that's true.
Disneyland might have vetoed that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't say
yeah.
that.
Big
Maybe,
Disney.
maybe even the people, like the producers, like, we can't. That's the fact that we're actually doing this scene is enough. I think
Yeah.
we could drop the
It's
Disney.
pretty wild.
Do they
They
even
even
still
show
say-
like some of the skull like coming out.
Yeah,
like, you
really.
know.
That's what I like about this movie. And they did have to edit it down to get an R rating. It originally got an NC-17, but even then, it's still pretty.
I'd want to see the more violent.
I want to
cut.
see the
I'm
work
curious.
print. Yeah, I've never been able to find it online. I don't even know if it exists.
It never got
anymore.
made. The footage is probably there, but
I would hope, unless the studio threw it in the trash.
Yeah.
But
straight to the cutting room floor.
yeah. But what was I gonna say?
You're gonna say that.
Do they still
Friday
say?
night.
Yeah, good night for football. Do they still say that I'm going to Disney or Disney World or whatever?
What's that movie where he says that? Is that Balls of Fury or? There's
Oh,
some movie
maybe.
where like the guy gets knocked out. Maybe it's Will Ferrell and he like wakes up. He's
Maybe.
like, I'm going to Disneyland,
Okay.
but he lost.
I haven't heard them say that in forever.
Yeah, I don't know what that's from or yeah, who says that or. I haven't heard it too much.
Because I remember like that was like, Phil Simms, you just won Super Bowl 21. What are you gonna do now? I'm going to Disneyland.
Oh, is that what
Disney
it's
World."
from?
They used to say that. Yeah.
Oh.
Like after the Super Bowl.
Oh, because I got you.
They had like
They
some.
always
I
say
had
that.
some deal with Disney or something.
So that's why it would be funny if he said that.
Yeah.
when he pops himself.
It's
or ironic.
hilarious. It's great.
A little off topic, but one of the first women to go to space, I think it was Sally Ride.
Mhm.
On her way up, they're like, "Oh yeah, what are you thinking right now, Sally Ride?" And she's like, "Yeah, you guys should try out the new fast passes at Disneyland."
Oh,
And it's like,
What?
dang,
Cha-
that's like your
cha-ching.
historical moment.
Cha-ching.
Yeah, as an
Got paid
advertisement.
$5 million for that. Hopefully.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But
Wow,
it's-
is that really
It's
what
crazy
happened?
for the
That's-
first woman.
I didn't know
going to
that.
Space, yeah.
Oh.
Jeez. Yeah, the commercialization of everything, huh?
Yeah.
That's sort of like a big theme in this movie, right? I mean, like
Yeah.
monetization of football. And,
Right. Yeah.
You know, football's dying.
Right.
Well, that's interesting because I was sort of not really. I didn't really realize that until I was thinking back on it. He says that at the beginning, the owner. He's like, football's fine. Like, it's
Yeah.
not going anywhere. And then,
Yeah.
of course, then the guy shoots himself on the field.
Yeah.
But-
Roman brought up Dick Butkus and Lynn Swan are reporting because I think they were actual broadcasters at the time.
I
which
thought
is
that was
kinda
a
cool.
fake name at the beginning.
Dick Butkus. That's what Roman was saying. Dick Butkus.
If
Yeah.
you can't make that name up. You
I
can't put that in
know,
the
exactly,
script because they'll be
yeah.
like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
a real guy. You got away with it.
Yeah.
That's just another a little nugget of humor that's in this
Yeah.
movie. You know,
Oh, yeah.
there's tons of humor throughout
Yeah.
the script. Of course,
Yeah.
all like the little quips back and forth, and you know, the two of them kind of like bouncing off each other.
hmm
Bruce Willis has a line for everything. You know,
Oh yeah,
their response
oh,
for
yeah.
everything.
He's very witty.
Yeah. Well, then Damon Wayans is too. Like I feel like he was keeping up with him. You know?
Yeah.
And I was like, look at these two go.
Yeah.
It's a super dark intro with all the rain and everything.
Yeah.
And then we go straight to sunny. Is it L.A.? It looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
he's
Sunny
the LA
California.
Stallions.
Yeah.
Yeah, which by the way, another fake thing too, like
The
the
teams,
Stallions
yeah,
and the Cats. I don't know who
The Cleveland Cats or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What a name, the Cleveland Cats.
yeah, it was just like even I was watching, I was like, is this like a indoor football league or something? I mean, I know it's raining, but like I thought maybe but no, they're just completely fictional teams, and
yeah, this is
they
like
play on Fridays.
yeah, this is this world's version of the NFL, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you guys like the intro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that a lot. I thought it did grab my attention, and and like I said, it sets you up for the rest of the movie. It's like when you write an essay and you're like you got your thesis statement or whatever like at the
Right,
beginning. It's kind of
right.
like that's how I felt about it a little
Yeah,
bit.
I
And then the unexpectedness
Yeah.
of the shooting of the gun that comes back a few times later in the movie too.
Yeah, I just like how just brutal and visceral it is, and that's how it opens.
Yeah.
You know, they had a lot of balls to do that, and I respect that tremendously because, you know, I mean, this is a mainstream studio movie.
Cojones.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I respect the movie a lot for doing that. Could you imagine being in a theater and seeing that? Like, just,
Dude.
it would've been like, what the fuck? Wow.
Yeah. Think
Boy.
you're going to see like Remember the Titans or something?
Yeah, like it's like the Anchorman gif or meme when he's like, boy, that escalated quickly.
Yeah.
That really got out of hand fast.
Yeah. Yeah, that does.
Very apropos.
And then they juxtapose it like you said, like all of a sudden it's like bright and sunny.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis sleeping in his car. He
Yeah,
gets, like,
the kids are fucking with him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a cute, more wholesome moment almost.
Yeah.
But still, they're still like little street urchins or whatever. I don't know.
Right.
They're just kids, but
I think they're trying to steal his watch, and that's when he freaks out and he pulls a gun on the kids.
yeah.
He's got a gun. Yeah.
His like voice cracks. And
Yeah,
he
yeah.
runs
He starts screaming like little girls.
Then he gets a call from like his boss, Mike, I think.
Yeah.
off. Yeah,
He
or
says
like
he
a
has,
fellow
like,
PI, I think maybe. Or...
I
He
like
has like a job for him.
I like when he's like, what do you have? He's like, I think I might have fucked a squirrel to death last night and I forgot.
Yeah. What a line.
So
He
funny.
sticks to the squirrel, like tosses it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
I thought maybe that was gonna be a recurring thing when he comes home and he finds like the little puppet, and I was like, is he just gonna find like these like dead animals and things all the whole? That's about it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Old Mike called him up, banging his wife, all that stuff. There's
Yeah.
that whole scene. You get to see like his skills at that moment. You know.
Oh yeah, his detective skills. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like looking at the toilet seat. He says something about the shower.
It's funny because I don't leave
Must
the
be in the
toilet seat
closet.
up, so I guess I wouldn't have applied there.
Right. Yeah.
I would have gotten away with
blended
it.
Cover your
Banging his
checks.
wife. Yeah.
Always put the seat back down.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if you're banging
Man.
Bruce Willis's wife,
Right.
'cause he'll know.
You'll know. All
Well, it's
right.
crazy to start with the intro with Billy Cole killing himself and then go straight to like this affair.
Yeah.
And you're wondering, is Bruce Willis about to shoot this dude in
Right,
his house? Like,
yeah.
holy crap.
Yeah. Well, it sets up like his marriage is not. It sets up his marriage is on the rocks.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Their daughter is mischievous. She writes or draws a cute little picture. Satan
Claus.
Satan Claus.
Yeah.
So and they talk about you wear all that, let her wear all that goddamn makeup.
Hey, this movie's not a Christmas movie, but the Satan Claus thing is.
It
sort of
came out. That's the weird thing. It came out around Christmas.
Oh, really?
That's something
It
I
came
read
out in
about.
December.
Was it Tony Scott or Shane Black? See, I'm morphing the two in my head. So Tony Scott directed it.
Yes.
Shane Black wrote it.
Yes.
Wrote the script, and the two of them have like worked together on other stuff before, right? And then like they've done like buddy cop movies.
I don't think they did.
They haven't collaborated. I thought.
I think this was their only collaboration.
Well, who
might be
directed
wrong.
Die Hard? Was that
John
Tony?
McTiernan.
Oh, John McTiernan. See,
Yeah.
and John McTiernan's another one that pops up all
Yeah.
over. Like I was looking
Yeah.
through like the writing and like the cinematographer and the producers, and they all like interconnect
Joel
so
Silver
much.
produced like all these fucking movies. You see Joel Silver.
Joel
thing
Silver
all
produced The
fucking
Warriors.
time. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, damn.
yeah. Like he's
I was like, what?
everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but I was just gonna say like well, shit, what was I gonna say? Something about Shane Black.
And the
Had to do with
director,
Christmas
Tony
movie?
Scott.
Yeah, Christmas time. Like, Die Hard is a Christmas movie, as we've been over many times.
As Carlos loves.
Yeah, yeah. But I was like reading. I think it must have been Shane Black's scripts. He likes to put Christmas in there.
Lethal Weapon. No one mentions that. Lethal Weapon is Christmas time too.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
one. Everybody forgets that.
I don't even remember that because I
Yeah.
can't remember which Lethal Weapons I've seen.
Mel Gibson goes to buy like a Christmas tree in one of the first scenes of Lethal Weapon.
Oh,
He's
that's
at a
right.
Christmas
And
tree.
there's like a big shootout. Yeah.
Shane Black wrote a movie. I've never seen it. It's called oh god, it's The Long Kiss Goodnight, and I think that takes place around Christmas as well.
Yeah,
He wrote Iron Man 3, and that takes place around, or he directed Iron Man 3, and I think that takes
right.
place around Christmas too.
Oh,
He
wow.
did direct Iron Man 3. Yeah, I think Christmas is cool. Like it just kind of. I think we brought it up maybe in one of our other shows, but like Christmas time is supposed to be like comforting and like relaxing. You're supposed to not, be worrying about getting murdered and stuff. But I think it was Black Christmas we were talking about.
Probably.
That. Yeah. But
Yeah, around Christmas time, people probably don't want to go to the theater and watch a football player blow his brains out.
right. Yeah. But some people do.
I would have loved it.
Yeah, I think I would've.
I
I mean, I
would
don't
have
know.
had a fucking blast.
I liked it because I went into this movie not knowing anything.
Right.
And generally, I think that's like some of my best movie experiences
Yeah.
when you just don't know anything.
Yeah.
So I didn't watch any trailers. I didn't look up the plot,
Nice.
any of that stuff.
Nice.
So I was surprised at a lot of times, like the gunshot, and then also the affair thing. I like, he gives him like the head or gut.
Yeah.
Love
And he
that.
just knows.
Yeah.
Gut.
Right, gut.
But then when he turns on the car and it gets blown up, like that was another like shocker moment. I was like, damn, I wasn't ready for this. And then
Yeah.
I also like that because it kind of keeps you on edge for the rest of the movie, or a lot of the rest of the movie. Like when people are getting into their cars, I almost feel like they kind of like hang on them for a little while longer and make you just kind of like think, is this car gonna blow up? They come back to it right when it's her second car and Damon Wayans is getting in and he's like,
Yeah.
get out of the car.
Yeah. they
Finds
find
the C4.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I just want to say I like that a lot too because I like it's like a video game or something, like instead of just like blowing up the car, getting the fuck out of there, they like cut the cord and like take the C4. It's like, now I have a weapon.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he uses it right away.
Right.
On the landlord from The Big Lebowski.
Dude, I was gonna. All right,
No
I'm so
way.
glad you noticed that. It was on. We have the movie running right now. It was just on, and I wanted to, but I didn't want to get off track.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I know I jumped forward.
Hey, dude.
Yeah.
I want you to come to I got that venue I want. I want you to come and, give me some notes.
Yeah. But you could take notes.
Yeah.
He's like, rent is due. And he's
Oh,
like,
by the
"Far
way,
out."
dude, tomorrow's already the 10th.
Yeah.
Slide the rent under my door.
Yeah, but he's got hair in this
Yeah,
one,
he's-
and
yeah.
he's
Yeah.
more. I mean, he's like somewhat imposing, I guess. He's just a
I guess.
henchman.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
He's yeah.
I like that scene when Damon Wayans has a go like, we're being beat up by the inventor of Scrabble because he's like, these people do not show exuberance.
Yeah. There was a couple times like that where they would just, not reuse dialogue, but kind of like repeat things and like say things. It
Yeah.
reminded me a little bit of It reminded me of The Big Lebowski a little bit, or
Yeah,
just the Coen
sure.
brothers in general, how
Sure,
they
yeah.
do that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like there was a couple times I can't remember what word it was that Damon Wayans used, and Bruce Willis was like, "What are you talking about? Like, what are you saying?" And
I think it's right here. He goes, I'm rode hard and put away with
Yeah.
that. He's like, what the hell does that mean?
Yeah, it's horse talk. That gets referenced later when he gets to ride the stallion.
Right,
So there's a lot of like full
yeah.
circle things that they do.
Yeah,
That's
riding on his horse.
Yeah.
He's got his hat.
yeah, true, right?
Riding
So,
on the range.
Credit to Shane Black for that. I
Yeah,
thought.
yeah.
He does a good job with that. You could kind of see why the script sold for so much.
I think and plus like Shane Black was like really like he was a big name. Lethal
Yeah.
Weapon was a pretty big hit, and it was a bidding. I think it was a bidding war between studios.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, $1.75 million for a script. It's pretty crazy.
Crazy.
Pretty nice.
Yeah.
Just write a story, bang it out, and
Yeah.
however long. Because
Yeah.
didn't he say he did it quick because it was cathartic for him and all that stuff?
Yeah. I think you brought that up a little earlier.
Yeah,
I
he
think,
was just
Carlos.
chain smoking and reading paperbacks.
Yeah.
He says, right?
Yeah.
And
Because he
that's-
was going through a divorce himself, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So he put that into the character a little
Right.
bit, more of like a spy
Yeah.
kind of like type thing. Well, a spy, like private detective.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
What are you? My father?
Yeah, I'm your father. Go put some clothes on.
You're hilarious. Go stick your head in that speaker. You'll be screaming. Play that funky music, white boy.
The screaming part, I believe.
An on-screen performance by Halle Berry.
Young Halle Berry.
Yeah.
Kinda
this
cool
is
seeing her.
It's got to be one of her first movies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I you said it too, Carlos. I thought she was going to be more of a prominent character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then suddenly she just gets shot. And
Gunned
that's gonna be
down.
my third thing I'm gonna say took me off guard. Like it's all these like left turns. Like,
Yeah,
When I
yeah.
think the movie's gonna go right, and it just goes. "Rrr."
And I like that she gets mowed down pretty good.
Yeah.
Like,
Plenty of squibs.
oh yeah, it's
Yep.
pretty good.
Execution style.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, he even says it. Like,
Yeah,
this was
he's
a
like, yeah,
this was a
hit.
professional hit.
Yeah, yeah. Again, because he's a detective. He's not an idiot.
That
He's
part
a
actually
schlub.
made me.
You know, he's a drunk, but he's not an idiot.
Well, and then it's also like an exterior thing, like he's putting on, like that one cop says, like what are you looking at when you see him? And he says like, oh, I see a guy that just slept in his clothes. He's like,
Right? Yeah.
that man, nah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like there's more to him, and there's more to Damon Wayans too. Like
Yeah.
they're both pretty good characters with
Well,
like flaws and things.
We didn't bring up, he cheats on Halle Berry right from the get go.
Oh, yeah.
We the first scene he's in, he's waking up from banging a whore,
A whore. Yeah.
banging a whore, and but then he goes outside, and I like that scene where like the dude's being a total douche, and he's like, yeah, she won't blow me, so I'm holding on to water.
He's
He's like,
about to
come on,
drown a
man.
woman.
Yeah, he's like, let her go, she's gonna drown, and then he throws the football at his face.
Yeah.
Busts his nose. And he's got a really good line. I like his line. I like the way he says it. He's like, best arm in the National League. Remember that, you fat son of a bitch. Like,
Yeah.
just the way he says it's so funny.
Yeah. You fat son of a bitch.
Which
Yeah.
we see that arm at the very end.
Right.
When he's riding the
Yeah, it
horse
pay-
and
it
he
pays
hits the
off.
That was
saddler.
hilarious
Yeah,
to me.
pays
Like
off.
it was so like over the top, like to be on a horse and like
Yeah,
throw like
yeah.
a football and like smack him right in the face.
Exactly. Protecting the senator's life.
Yeah. But yeah, the two of them, Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans, are like good foils for each other because like, Damon Wayans kind of has like the bad boy personality, like reputation.
Yeah.
But then he's actually like pretty sweet guy. Like when he's talking to the daughter and like,
Right.
he's trying to genuinely like make
Right.
a connection.
Yeah.
Which Bruce Willis can't really do.
I thought her name's Danielle Harris. I thought her and Damon Wayans had really good chemistry in this
yeah.
movie.
Yeah, they did.
Well, we didn't bring up, so Damon Wayans is down on his luck too because he just got kicked out of the football league for gambling and drugs.
Mm-hmm.
So he's kind of down on his luck as well.
Yeah, he's going through it.
And then we learn Bruce Willis was a big fan of Damon Wayans. He was his favorite player.
I liked that. Like it was like a reveal.
Yeah,
at near the end.
Because when they meet, he knows. He's like, oh, so you know who I am? He's like, yeah, Jimmy Diggs. Blah blah. Went to-
89-90 quarterback for the Stallions.
yeah,
Allegations of drug use.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Bruce Willis is like he's like an asshole, but he's like in terms of like alignments from like Dungeons and Dragons or whatever, he's like a lawful.
right.
You
He's
know,
got
like-
morals and
Yeah,
principles.
like
yeah.
with the part with the scene that the drugs in his house,
It's
he's
just- yeah,
pissed.
it's just
Yeah,
gonna
he
come out.
throws him out. And like
Yeah.
it's like funny what he does and doesn't like. Like he'll shit talk like his daughter, but like he won't tolerate any drug use or anything like that.
Yeah.
Or any misdoing. Like he'll
Right.
sacrifice his life for the president and like
Yeah.
lose his job and career like to
Yeah.
save a woman. But at the end of the day, he's still an asshole.
Yeah.
Which
That's what I kind of
constantly
like.
says.
That's what I like about him.
Yeah, he's a little unlikable, but like.
But
Not-
I kind
but
of
not-
like it though, just because I guess that's just not my sense of humor. Just I don't know. It's just funny to me when people act like that.
Mhm.
They just don't give a fuck, and they just kind of annoyed by everything. They're just like, whatever. Like,
Yeah,
I
he
don't know.
doesn't. Like even in the scene when he meets Damon Wayans, I should probably use their character names, but to me, I keep seeing them as
Right.
Bruce and
yeah.
Damon.
Yeah.
Like even when he starts to get a rise out of Damon Wayans, and he's like, "It's about time, John Hallenbeck," and he like goes to
Yeah.
shake his hand, and then Damon's
Joe-
like slaps
Joe
his
Hallenbeck,
yeah,
I think,
yeah,
yeah.
sorry, he slaps his hand away. Like
Yeah.
again, just they have a cool little dynamic there. In terms of like buddy cop. Again, I know they're not cops, but the pair, like
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
they're a pretty good pairing, right up there with Danny Glover and Mel Gibson.
Right.
Or,
Yeah.
even later on, I was getting some Rush Hour vibes from this.
Oh yeah.
Even
yeah,
though Rush Hour
definitely.
comes out years later.
Yeah, I could see that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I found it interesting that he flushes his pills, and it kind of shows a lot of character development, especially when Bruce Willis's daughter comes out later and says, he was like your biggest fan and
Yeah.
everything. So that kind of makes sense why he would be
Yeah.
so disappointed in him.
And that's where we get the
Forget
title of the
that.
movie. Is to the daughter. He signs the card to the daughter of the last Boy Scout,
Yeah.
Jimmy Diggs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that must have thrown it is an interesting title.
Yeah,
It's a very interesting. I
It
bet
is.
like
it's
people,
like a survival movie or something.
yeah,
if you think
like
about
yeah,
just
like
the title.
I bet like when people saw it back then, it's like the last Boy Scout. Is this a movie about child molestation? What is this? What's going on? Boy Scouts? What?
This is a Leave It's a Beaver movie.
Yeah.
She mentions that he's Ward Cleaver to the
Right,
daughters.
right,
Thinks
yeah.
he's Ward Cleaver.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, you're gonna do what I say.
That's the thing. That scene,
Okay, asshole.
I really buy that. I don't know if you guys ever had, arguments in your family growing up, but I did, and it's pretty. I think it's pretty natural the way they just go back, just kind of telling each other to fuck off and this and that. Like I bought it.
Yeah.
It's pretty natural
Yeah.
to me at
Yeah.
least.
She's got his winning personality.
Yeah, yeah. It's so like, I like how she makes fun of the number on his head. Cause when I first saw it, I'm like, is that a tattoo? I'm like, that's his fucking hair. Like,
Yeah.
It's so funny. And then she's like, what's that? Like, if you lose your head, they can take it back to you, like a license plate or something.
Yeah.
He's like, no, it's a football thing. It's my high school number. And then she goes, when are you graduating?
Yeah.
It's like, that's pretty good.
Yeah, she was roasting him.
Yeah. And then
He's like, what do I say to this
so when you
14-year-old?
graduate, and he's just like, I think you want to be left alone.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's good. It's
Good people
good
skills.
stuff. Yeah.
Good social skills from
good
his
stuff.
character. There's a football player, I wish I could remember who it is. A big name, but he has like a haircut right now where he just leaves like the chunk in the back of hair and everything else is like shaved bald basically.
wow. That's
And I
funny.
think it's because when he puts his helmet on, like it sticks out. Maybe it's Odell Beckham Jr. I could be wrong.
I could see that.
Yeah,
I
but
could see him doing that.
but that sort of is what it reminded me of, the 13. Yeah, it is a little like what, Stranger Things. They don't tattoo him or anything, but like he could be number 13 or something.
Oh
like that.
yeah.
What is that?
That's
An
funny.
identification number?
Yeah.
Yeah. The daughter, I thought her character was pretty good. you
Yeah,
know, and
I
like you
her.
said, believable.
I like that actress. She's really big in the horror community because she was in Halloween 4 and 5 and the Rob Zombie remakes.
Oh,
She's
Oh,
an
dang.
urban legend. She was in a lot of stuff. Yeah, I thought she was really good in
A
this.
scream queen or
Yeah,
something like that.
she's really young too. She was even younger in the Halloween movies, the 4 and 5, than she was in this.
Oh, damn. Oh, wow.
She's like a really little kid.
Yeah.
But
She does look familiar. I was trying to figure out where I knew
She's
her
been in
from.
other stuff too. I remember she was in a Disney Channel movie with Katherine Heigl,
Oh.
and they like switch. It's like Freaky Friday. They're like sisters, and they switch bodies.
That's funny.
I remember.
Friday night's a great night for switching
Yeah,
bodies.
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Friday night.
Well, but going back to like Flesh and the Drugs, like in the beginning of this film, we're introduced to Bruce Willis, and he's like blackout drunk.
Right.
So like, I don't know if he has any room to
Yeah.
like
Passed out
start
in his
flushing
car.
people's
I
drugs.
guess alcohol's okay.
Yeah.
Drugs though, no.
Right.
And he's
people-
smoking cigarettes through the whole
Yeah.
movie too.
the whole movie.
I guess because drugs are illegal. I
Yeah,
guess
I guess.
because
he,
like
he just does what's legal.
yeah.
Yeah.
This,
It's legit.
It's funny because the scene's on right now, or it was on. He's like, he's like, I take it to get by. He's like, I don't take it, I get by.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you do, kind of alcoholic.
Yeah, you're sort of an alcoholic, chain smoking
Yeah,
asshole.
Yeah.
But you do get by, I guess.
Yeah.
Your wife's banging other dudes.
Yeah.
Get a dog.
Yeah. Get a dog.
Yeah.
Lonely Joe, get a dog.
Yeah. And by the end of the movie, you feel like, he's learned a lot. He's going to, like, appreciate his family more. He cussed
Yeah.
out his wife, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he showed some emotion.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, so it's
arc.
nice to see, like, growth throughout the movie from really both of the characters. I feel
Right.
like,
Yeah.
Damon Wayans sort of, like, accepts where he's at a little bit. And, yeah. It was kind of messed up, too, some of his scenes, like when he finds out that she died because she was trying to, like, blackmail.
I was
going to
bring that
back.
up. Yeah, because
Yeah.
Halle Berry is actually a pretty important plot point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go to her apartment. They find it's been all, like,
Ransacked.
ransacked,
Yeah.
tossed. But somehow he ends up finding still what he says, like, this is what they were looking for, I bet you. And it's, like, blackmail evidence.
Yeah.
And then there's also the scene with the tape,
I like that.
Yeah.
No, don't needs the tape.
Yeah. He's like, how was I supposed to know?
Yeah, you fucking idiot car. He fucking eats the tape.
Yeah.
And like at the end, he just whispers like, fast forward eats the tape. And just throws it to him.
Yeah. Fast forward, eats the tape. Yeah, that's more their, like, good back and forth.
Yeah.
'Cause they share a lot of screen time, I feel like.
Oh yeah.
The two of them, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, and did you guys hear, like, that they didn't even like each
I was
other?
gonna bring it up.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone liked making this movie, except the only person that I've read kind of enjoyed themselves was Danielle Harris, and I think it's because she got to tell Bruce Willis "fuck you." And
Yeah,
was, like,
probably.
13 years old, and just having a fun time with them. Other than that,
Just play the puppet.
yeah, it's not. Tony Scott didn't like it. Joel Silver didn't like it. Shane Black didn't like it. Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans didn't like it. No, like, and it just makes me sad.
I heard Bruce Willis
Really.
and Damon Wayans like hated each other
Yeah,
too.
yeah,
on set.
and I don't think that comes across in the movie at all.
No, that's what I was
really.
gonna say. They do a really
Like-
good job if they do hate each other.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? I
And-
mean, their characters butt heads at
But-
times, but not like.
But when they're getting along, they feel like they're actually getting along.
There's that weird kind of like scene. Well, maybe it's not weird, but it struck me as kind of odd. Like when some shit goes down and then they're like driving back. I think it's when he goes to meet his family, like Damon Wayans meet Bruce Willis' family, and he like tells a joke to Bruce Willis in the car, and like Bruce Willis like cracks a smile and cheeses, and then like Damon Wayans like he's like hella cheesing. It's just the two of them like smiling
Is that
for
the
a few
Prince
seconds.
part when like
Yeah.
they're talking about his daughters? My
Yeah,
daughter
he does
likes
Prince.
My daughter likes Prince. I like Prince.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is funny because of course, like you got to use Damon Wayans for some comedic.
Of course, yeah,
like, you got
of
him. You
course,
know,
right.
it's like
'Cause I think
using
that-
Arnold Schwarzenegger's muscles.
Yeah,
It's
like, that was the only thing Damon Wayans was really doing at this time. It was just that's really all he's really done for the most part is comedy. So.
yeah. No, there was some serious moments with him where I thought he did fine.
I
Like, you know.
thought the scene in the bathroom with him and Bruce, he was really good. I think that's his best scene in the whole movie.
Oh yeah, he's like spitting out blood, and he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
"When
yeah.
you're done
You know,
feeling
and
sorry
he's-
for yourself.
Yeah, yeah. He's when you're done feeling sorry for yourself, the front door is that way.
Yeah. But no, yeah, he does like a good breakdown.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's really good. He's like, why do you think there's an injury report in professional football? It's the point spread. That's all
Yeah.
they care about. It's gambling. It's a good scene.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they did a good job for two guys that said they hated each other.
I
so
know. Yeah, I guess it might have been Bruce Willis's ego or.
I could see it. He's pretty big at this time. This is
Yeah,
right after Die Hard, right?
Right. Yeah.
Did you guys ever watch Moonlighting or see Moonlighting at all? The
No, I
TV
know
show?
of it though. I think they would show like reruns on Nick at Night or something. I've never actually watched.
I was
it.
watching some clips of it just to get an idea, and it's a lot like this movie. Like his character
Really?
in it is very sarcastic.
Oh, okay. That's,
Is this
that's
Bruce
funny.
Willis's show?
Yeah, Bruce Willis, and I
That's
can't
like how he
remember her
got
name.
like popular, I think.
Yeah,
really.
that's what I think. That's what I've heard, and I guess it was like kind of. I guess it was. You know, I probably shouldn't talk too much on Moonlighting because I don't know much about it, but. You know, I guess it mixed like crime with like comedy and like drama and romance and stuff. So it was kind of
Okay.
like, sort of, from what I read at least, it was sort of like groundbreaking in some ways. And the clips I saw, you know, it's like Bruce Willis is just like this movie, like bouncing back and forth with his partner. They're like talking shit to each other, but then, you know, at the end of the day, he cares and like all this
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, that's
So-
cool. Nice.
Yeah, that plus Die Hard. It's like it's almost like you, from what I saw again from Moonlighting and plus John McClane, like you meld the two and you kind of end up with this guy.
Okay, yeah.
You
that's
know,
a
how
yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
we're looking right now at the scene where he's sacrificing himself for the president.
Yeah.
I totally thought when I first saw the president that he was a different character. I thought he was like, oh man, now I'm trying to remember which one it is. Escape from New York or Escape from L.A. or something similar. Damn it, I lost it. There was like,
Okay.
you know, he's like this evil, he's like a bad guy.
Okay.
Man, maybe it's Running Man. See,
Oh, maybe.
I
Yeah.
got all these movies like mixed together in my head because
Right.
I just feel like this movie kind of combines a lot of them,
Yeah.
you know.
I thought the president he kind of looked like Jimmy Carter. They're like, hey, when you're president, turn your inside of your lip side. You can look like
Yeah.
Jimmy Carter.
I wonder if that's who they were going for.
Maybe.
Maybe he's
'Cause
got like his big
Time frame wise,
season.
maybe that. Well, maybe not because his daughter's 13. She's like, they just showed like she's in the hospital with him. She looks like she's like 5 or 6. So I don't know if
Ronald-
that would work out, but maybe that's what they were going for.
Ronald
in the
Reagan
80s, he
was
saved Jimmy Carter.
Ronald Reagan almost got assassinated like
Right,
that.
yeah,
Where the bodyguard
yeah.
jumped in front of the bullets.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like Ronald
No.
Reagan.
Nah, Ronnie, not Ronnie.
Yeah, or Jimmy. Or
This
Jimmy
scene's
and Ronnie.
This scene's pretty cool too, where he got captured. Bruce Willis got captured,
Yeah.
and then he asked for a cigarette,
Mm-hmm.
and then he says, "Touch me again, and I'll kill you."
Yeah, and he lives up to
He
his
and
word.
that guy sort of looks like you if you like.
I thought he looked like Joaquin Phoenix.
He does look like
He
Joaquin
kind of
Phoenix.
reminded me of Joaquin. That guy is in a
Or sort of George
stuff.
Michael esque.
a little bit.
He's
Yeah.
got the piercing and stuff.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
recognize both of these thugs.
The other dude is in stuff too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the like the what are they? The thugs, like, you know, just random bad guys.
Yeah.
He even calls them bad guys. a couple
Right.
times.
And I don't know if that's just a Bruce Willis thing, because he does that in Die Hard too. He like there's a scene where one of the dudes in the airport luggage room escapes, and the security pulls guns on John McClane. He goes, "No, not me, you idiots! That's the bad guy. He got away." It's like, I guess Bruce Willis just like saying bad guys.
Yeah.
Bad guy. I don't know.
Maybe it feels a little meta when he says that.
Yeah. Yeah.
In
It's
the
funny.
end of the film, when they start blasting the bad guy, he says, "No, not me, not me, you guys, not me."
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
Before he does his little jig.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was another just ridiculous part of the movie.
Do a
like,
jig, I swear to God.
starts dancing and like
gonna
you
do
can
a
see it all
jig.
big on the jumbotron and
Yeah.
stuff.
Insane.
I'm gonna do a jig. I
I
swear.
swear, if we survive this,
Do a jig.
Yeah, and like everybody in the crowd is like, "What's he doing? He's dancing!"
Yeah.
And they like start
Dancing?
clapping.
for a dancer, he's a
Some
pretty.
dude just got freaking like blended up by
Yeah.
a helicopter.
Helicopter blades.
The whole audience is like shattered or like got
Yeah.
blood all over them, and they're just like,
yeah, he's dancing. Yeah, you were just gonna say the Damon Wayans line. What's
For
he
a
say?
dancer, he's a pretty damn fine detective.
Yeah. That's a good line.
Doing the jig.
yeah, so good.
It's a crazy final scene.
Yeah.
Or like final boss battle.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Get a little bit hand to hand combat in there.
Yeah.
The bad guy, he's shooting the people out of the chopper too.
Yeah,
Kind of
yeah.
like some GTA stuff.
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, not
He's
only
got
that-
6 stars.
He gets loaded up with bullets, and then he falls into the helicopter blade.
Yeah.
It's a big fucking death.
yeah.
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 Milo, take him out. And Milo had already cheated death once, you know, like when he.
Right.
That was, that was probably like the big last. Again, like I said, like when I'm expecting one thing, like they go another way with it. Like they started showing the helicopter blades, and it was like helicopter blades, Milo, helicopter blades, Milo. They were like cutting back and forth, and I was like, I just started to realize like, wait a second, they're gonna, and then he just like falls, and just like literally like red mist.
Yep.
Yeah. And so, but I was just like, that was another part where I started laughing. I was like, holy shit, like,
Yeah.
this is crazy.
Yep.
This movie's hardcore.
Like, one last
Yeah, it
thing for
is.
you guys. So, if all the kills were like that, then yeah, they definitely would have got the NC-17
Yeah.
rating, you know?
Mhm.
And it's cool because it's still really violent. It's cool that they at
Yeah.
least, didn't have to take all of it out. But yeah, I like I said, like it'd be cool to watch the work print,
Yeah.
see what. I read that this movie had 3 editors.
Oof.
Oh, wow.
It was like it sounded like a First Blood thing, like when the first cut they said was unwatchable. Which again,
Like 3 editors working
no,
simultaneously?
I think like they
Oh,
just
wow.
kept bringing in editors
They're
because
like, "You ain't doing
no
it."
one could make sense out of it.
Editing can make or break a movie
Exactly,
really easily.
Exactly.
I had talked about it before we were recording. One part where I thought the editing was weird was the car chase scene.
Yeah.
Like maybe they just didn't have like the right footage or something, but like when they're chasing on the cars, like the camera's just bouncing up and down, and it was like cutting really really fast, and it would just be like a quick shot of one car, a quick shot of another car, and like back to them inside like the car, and they're like bouncing up and down. It almost felt like a Disney Channel like thing or something, you know? It was like whoa. So I wasn't.
Was that when they're like going down the side of a cliff? too?
Yeah, they end up falling down, and then like I think they like show like a quick close up of like Milo's face, and he looks all scared or
That's
something.
funny.
And then even like that was even weird too. Then they like roll down, and like I can't remember where the 2 main guys go, but then like the bad guys, they like launch off of a roof or something like that, like a low house on like the bottom of a hill. It was just so strange, like all of it. And then then they go, and then they're going into like a pool, but you could tell like they just clearly like dropped a car like straight down into a pool.
Yeah.
And
That's funny.
who's that comedian that it splashes
It's,
on?
it's the Tom Hanks' neighbor in The Burbs.
Yeah. That's what I think I know him
Rick
from.
Ducommun or Duckerman, Rick Duckerman, something like that.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
familiar.
Yeah.
That was I keep saying this, sorry, but that was another time I was really surprised was when he got shot. I was
Right.
just not expecting
Danielle
him to
Harris
just
is
get a
just
bullet
right there
through
drinking a Pepsi and boom. Yeah.
Yeah, he just gets
Yep.
shot from behind.
Yeah.
But all that was funny too, because they're like building up the whole thing with Bruce Willis's character, like how he looks guilty, basically. Like he had just been framed with the fingerprint. The cop was already after him.
I wanted to bring, dude, that's so, when, is there a problem here? Yes, officer, there is a problem. I'm afraid there's too many bullets in this gun. He just kills him.
Dude.
That's a good line.
That's a great line.
Yeah,
And
that's
he's
a good
like,
line.
I actually wrote that one down.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good one.
dear, like, "Oh dear Joe, like you just murdered
no,
a cop."
Joseph.
Oh yeah,
dear
Joseph.
Joseph.
Yeah, because even later
Joseph
he's like
and James.
He calls me Joseph.
Yeah. He's like James. Yeah, that's his thing. Likes to call me Joseph. Yeah.
James.
So yeah, I forget the actor's name who plays Milo. What's it? Taylor Negron, I think is how you say it.
Yeah.
And when I showed this to my friends back in the day, one of my buddies and I said he looks like Fred Armisen, from Portlandia.
Ooh, yeah.
And then my other buddies, he said he looks like Ronnie James Dio. So I think Taylor Negron is Ronnie James Dio and Fred Armisen's love child.
Oh no.
With the little like Javier Bardem like
A
sprinkled
little
in there.
bit, yeah.
That's funny, but he's like taller and thinner,
Yeah.
and he's kind of just like hello.
Yeah, he's got a very interesting way of talking.
Yeah.
You think you're so fucking cool, don't you?
Yeah. Just once, I'd like to hear you scream
Yeah.
in pain.
What would you
He
do?
does.
Yeah, and it's like, what would you do if someone told you to go fuck yourself? Would you cut out their eyeball? And Bruce was just like, no,
Yeah. No.
no. I want to hear you scream and play some rap music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He really doesn't like rap music.
He does
Yeah.
not.
They say it a few times.
Yeah,
Shove
This
your
kind
head in
of
the
feels
speaker.
really old now. To me,
Yeah,
like, almost
yeah.
antiquated.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes.
Play some rap music.
Play some rap music.
That's like writing his character. Like, what does he hate? And it's like
Rap
rap music. They didn't like go this route at all, but I thought maybe like maybe they were gonna insinuate some kind of like racial thing too.
Yeah.
Because like he ends up partnering
Right,
with like Damon
yeah.
Wayans, and Damon Wayans does a lot of like black comedy, like I always think of like the Scary Movie movies or stuff, like
By the Wayans brothers. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought maybe that was something they do, and if I remember right, there's like one or two things in the movie, but it's not like a big part of it. I thought they might write that into Bruce Willis's character. Something.
Yeah, I think the one thing that definitely wouldn't fly now that stood out to me, of course, was the word that rhymes with tag. You got like
Oh yeah.
Damon Wayans goes, you got a pretty good build.
Yeah, yeah.
You'd be good in football. You got pretty. He's like, what do you, a tag?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. That was when they're in the police station, right? Or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
trying to make conversation.
Hey, he's like, just trying to break the ice. He's like, I like ice. Leave it the fuck alone.
Yeah.
It's getting just great lines. Just such good stuff.
A lot of good like back and forth.
Yeah.
A lot of good one-liners.
Yeah.
They even like again the meta thing they comment on at the end when they're walking off into the sunset or whatever. Basically.
Right.
He's like, what am I gonna say? Like, I'll be back or something?
Yeah.
He's like, no.
It's the 90s.
Yeah. You gotta say something cool before you kill
Yeah.
somebody.
It's like, what he says it throughout the movie. He's like, sky's blue, water's wet, Satan Claus is out there somewhere.
Yeah,
You gotta be ready for him.
women lie.
Yeah, women lie. Yeah. Satan Claus is out there somewhere. So funny.
I choose to believe in Satan Claus. Me too.
It's the same, yeah.
I like the beginning too when he's talking to Mike. He said, "Oh, what you tripped? You slipped? Your dick fell in my wife."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Joe, it's just not my week. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. He's like, you know what, honey? I think you're right. I think I am losing my mind. And then he shoots their picture.
Yeah. He like
Joe,
points the
talk
gun.
to your shrink. You're losing your mind.
He points the gun at both of them too.
Yeah.
At Mike, then at his wife, and then shoots. But like, yeah, the picture.
She's like, Joe, put the gun down. Oh, yeah, the gun, right.
They do that same kind of shot. Like that's like a parallel, sort of like when he shoots the picture, and also when he shoots the president, or when he goes to shoot the senator later, Milo.
Okay.
Like it's like the way they like edit it and cut the
Yeah,
shots and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Like you don't know if somebody got
Flashy.
shot.
Yeah, it's very flashy editing, yeah.
Yeah. But dude, that cracked me up. Like him throwing the football from the back of
Yeah.
a moving horse and like nailing him. Best arm in the league.
Remember that, you fat son of a bitch.
Yeah. And that guy gets the shotgun pulled on him in the tunnel.
Right, yeah.
He's like the one other football player that we know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So funny.
And then the very end, they save the senator, and Bruce Willis says, "Head or gut."
Yeah.
He
that
goes,
was funny.
"What?"
It's like, there's probably ramifications for assaulting the senator.
I know,
I would
right?
imagine. So Damon is like kind of going to chase after and find Bruce Willis, Joe Hollenbeck, and he tells his daughter, I'm gonna go find your dad, okay? And they have this nice little touch between the glass, which I like. I don't even know if like that was even in the script. That might have just been something that they did because they look like they get along really. Hopefully, because I would like to think at least Danielle Harris and Damon Wayans got along.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. Because I read she liked making the movie. That's the only person I've heard that said they liked making this.
That actually went out there to say it.
Yeah.
They have a good dynamic through the whole movie, really.
Like this scene right here when she sneaks up on him. And, like, you know, he's just... They just...
Oh, yeah,
I don't know.
she pops up the puppet, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And
They
says
just have
something to
really,
him.
really good chemistry, I felt
Even
like.
from the first time they meet, they have, like, the same back and forth.
When
But
she tells you, like, oh,
he's
you...
like, I'm going to leave you alone.
Yeah, yeah. And the high school, like, when are you graduating line, which I thought was great.
That's kind of like, she's like a... she's just so similar to Bruce Willis's character, her dad. Like, you know, they did a really good job of, like, making daughter just like father.
Right.
Because, you know, she's, like, too prideful.
She's a little detective, too.
Yeah.
She finds her dad's gun. She finds where
the map.
Damon Wayans went.
Or the number, yeah.
Yeah.
And smart enough to bring the gun to the kidnapping and all this
yeah,
stuff.
exactly.
that's a
Hide it
good
in the
move.
puppet. I was going to tell you this, Carlos. She's got, like, Padawan braids in her hair.
Oh, does she?
Yeah, like you can see it right there, kind of.
That's cool.
It was the style at the time. I tied an onion around my belt because it was the style at the time. But anyway,
But I just like, you know, how that scene when she goes up for his autograph, I feel like it says a lot about her, which in turn kind of says a lot about Bruce Willis's
Yes.
character. Like, they're just too prideful to, like,
Right,
you know,
yeah.
they put up, like, the exterior. But,
yeah, I think she apologizes. She's like, sorry for being a bitch earlier. Or
yeah,
something.
sorry for being so bitchy.
Yeah,
yeah.
And then she's like, you know, he was your biggest fan. He's like, does he punch all of his heroes or something?
yeah,
Yeah.
as he's walking off.
Yeah.
Yeah, great stuff.
And then to the daughter of the last Boy Scout, Jimmy Dix, like that.
Yeah, so I like it. They bring her into
We didn't
it
even
and-
talk about his son that died and his wife.
Oh, yeah.
I
yeah, that was
We
pretty
totally
crazy.
forgot about that. That's
It was like a car wreck, right?
What'd you guys think of that?
Yeah, it was interesting.
No, yeah, that was pretty brutal. Like, shit, she's 8 months pregnant, walking down the street, and he's, like, having his best game of
300
his
300
life.
yards. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I thought
that
that added a little depth to him.
No, definitely. That brings in, like,
it
his
explains.
tragic
Yeah,
past.
and it explains why the drugs. You know,
Yeah.
maybe that. I
And
was
also
kinda-
why he cares for Corey so much, you know,
Right,
like
and that too.
he's had 2, like, ladies of his taken away.
Yeah.
Even though, you know, he was still cheating on her and stuff, but
Right,
cheating doesn't
yeah.
mean very much in this movie, you know. The
Exactly.
wife and Bruce Willis
It's
is just
funny
like,
when he's
like,
drinking
"I deserved it."
when he's drinking the vodka and the bartender's like, you know, last time you were drinking shots of vodka, you just cheated on Corey. He's like, pour me another one.
yeah. Yeah, the guy knows.
Oh yeah,
So, yeah, neither of the characters are perfect, but that's good. That makes them more,
makes him interesting.
yeah.
and
you know, Bruce Willis does that every man
kind
action
of
hero.
a little more relatable.
Oh yeah,
you know?
No,
definitely.
yeah. Yeah, no, just like Die Hard, he's just like he's a cop, but
Yeah.
like he's not Bruce.
He's not an Arnold. He's not
Yeah.
a Stallone.
Yeah, no, he's not doing it with his muscles. He's
Yeah.
like, he's just kind of doing it with being
More
crafty
average
and
Joe.
clever. And in this movie, he's just a comedian, I guess. And that was one thing you keep bringing up, Carlos. But
The jokes.
the jokes,
The jokes.
yeah,
Which we're actually on the next scene right now, where they're in the woods doing the briefcase exchange,
mhm.
Yeah.
and then they go to execute Damon Wayans and Bruce Willis, but then his daughter shows up. It's like, first of all, why aren't you guys just snatching her up, like, right there, right then? But
Yeah,
they're letting her
yeah.
do a little shtick with her
Yeah.
puppet. I can't
Yeah.
remember the puppet's name.
It's something Tommy. Tommy the cat. Tommy
Yeah.
the cat.
baby.
It's something Tommy, I think, or Tony, something like
I
that.
thought it was like Mr. something. I
It's
don't know. I can't remember.
like Furry Tommy or
Furry
something.
Tom.
Furry
yeah.
Tom.
Hey, old Furry Tom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
is
the
that
first
it?
person you meet from his family when he
He walks in. Well,
Yeah.
we meet his wife, but
Oh, do
when
we?
yeah,
I,
that's
I thought it was the puppet first, and then the wife.
we do meet the puppet. But yeah, like you're right. Like she's like because she's
Yeah.
pissed off at
I
him.
thought maybe she was always gonna talk to him through that or some like messed up shit.
That
like,
would've been
you know,
funny.
my daughter doesn't talk to me face to face. She has to talk to me through this puppet.
I like.
something.
I guess we're jumping all over the place. I do like that scene where they're arguing. He's like, "Yeah, you want some ice cream? It's a chocolate chip." She's pissed off at him because he wouldn't let her go to the party with her, the Tommy. I think it was his name or something.
Yeah,
like,
her
boyfriend.
good friend.
Yeah.
And it's
And,
the best party of the year.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, ah, shit.
And she's like, "You're such a fuck up." And he's like, "You do not call me a fuck up." He's like, "Why? Mom calls you one all the time." It's like that's
Damn.
just
When did she say that?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then she just appears. She's like, "Darian, go to bed."
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, you were here."
But he threw the ice cream in the backyard.
And
too.
then she goes and gets another one out of the
Yeah,
freezer. I
a
was like,
different
"Oh,
one.
that's great. That's great."
yeah, it's just like their
What a-
dysfunction, but like at the same time, you could see that that's just how they operate,
Yeah.
And
Well, I've lived dysfunction, and I thought it was pretty believable.
yeah,
Yeah.
So
yeah. And then Damon Wayans just being like,
and again,
after the wife and Bruce Willis argue, he's just like, so you getting a divorce?
yeah. Well, I like during it too. That's how I would have been. It's like, hey man, you really gotta lay off him, man.
Yeah,
like you really gotta be so hard on her. Like that's how I feel like most people would be during that. Just like what else are you supposed to do?
Don't tell me how to raise my kids.
Yeah. I don't think did we bring up. We might have brought it up before we started. She's watching Lethal Weapon on the TV.
When he walks in.
I didn't notice that.
Written by Shane Black.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Put Lethal Weapon.
Good
on the
choice.
TV.
Good choice, Daniel.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot to look it up, but I do remember seeing Mel Gibson there, and I always like when they're watching a movie in a movie, or what book they're reading.
Right.
Like, so often it's like, if it's not important to the story, it's at least like a little Easter egg type thing.
Yeah, and it's definitely Easter eggy here because it's Shane Black's previous movie he wrote.
Well, isn't that what inspired the studio to buy this movie?
Yeah.
Is the success of Lethal Weapon?
Yeah.
Like, we need our own buddy cop movie.
Right.
We're watching right now too, as
we'll get back.
He's using the power of humor to work his way out all these situations. He literally does do it like every time.
Yeah.
He tells the wife jokes to the one guy that he stabs with the neck
Your
or
wife's
in the
so
bottle with
fat.
the neck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your wife's so fat, and he's like, say it, like, how fat is she?
Yeah.
He can't resist before he's gonna shoot him.
He says something too. It's like he's like, you're pretty relaxed for a guy that's gonna take a bullet. It's like, after your wife last night, I'll take 2 bullets or something like that.
Yeah. So he is pretty funny. They are funny. But, even like, I guess it's not humor as much, but it's more like he's just talking the whole time as he murders that one guy by the pool. You got a light, like, touch me again, I'll kill you. That guy.
Yeah.
He just punches him once in the face and fucking.
So I guess the nose bone goes all the way up to his brain and like punctures his brain. I guess.
And then plus he falls back and just probably smacked his head like
yeesh.
like a melon. Yeah.
Again, I respect the brutality of this movie.
Yeah. No, it was brutal at parts, and then other times it was just kind of like not at all. You're like, that's why it was so unexpected sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
Even by the end, when I saw the helicopter thing, I was like, damn, that they took it to another level.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just kind of interesting to see, like, he's using charisma as a weapon, basically.
Right, yeah.
And you see it sometimes in movies, but so often with action movies from this time, it's just Arnold, like, choking somebody, like, and like throwing phone booths at people and stuff like that,
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, I like the Bruce Willis kind of school of action movies, And Damon Wayans in here, too.
Carlos brought it up when I first came here. You want to talk about when he's got a lot of like mantras in this. He's got a lot of sayings like, sky's blue, water's wet. But he says it, I think, at least once, if not twice, when he gets in his car, he's looking at himself. Do you want to say what he says?
In the rearview mirror, and he's like, nobody likes you, everybody hates you. And then he says something else at the very end.
You're gonna lose.
You're gonna lose, but you need to go out there and do it anyway.
He goes, you're gonna lose. Smile, you son of a... Smile, you fuck. Or something.
That's right. Yeah.
I kind of like that.
Well, yeah, that's like the first thing he really says to himself, and it's like, oh, this guy is not okay.
Yeah, he's just kind of a loser, really. He's a lovable loser.
Yeah.
And I like that, because it's a trope now. They did it with Luke Skywalker. From what I've heard, they just did it with one of the characters in the new Scream movie. These like, but I like it in this is when it's like Luke Skywalker, established character. Now he's a bum. I like it more in this when we're introduced to them as a bum, and then we're told via previous dialogue that they've fallen from grace, and it's
took
to
a bullet
me
for the
it
president.
works a little better that way.
Yeah.
Instead of we've got 3 movies already of Luke Skywalker and then
being a big hero.
Yeah,
and then
he just I feel like it works better in this for me.
I agree.
Because it's a big trope right now, bringing back these characters and making them kind of losers.
Yeah.
I felt like he was more like of not so much a loser, but just like hated himself, basically.
Loser might be
he's sort of like
self-deprecate.
Deprecate. He like when he's saying all that, like that mantra, like looking in the mirror, like I'm just like, damn, are you keeping yourself down? Like it's almost like he was felt guilty or bad about something, and he just constantly was like reminding himself. But then when you like, I guess what would his like problem be? Is he too prideful? Is that what it is? Like
Maybe.
Like what really led him to be so like hate himself so much?
He
loses
got
his
kicked
job.
out of the Secret Service because he beat up the senator for the dude has like a chick tied up and he's beating on her. It's like what the whoa.
Yeah, another pretty brutal moment.
And
like
and Bruce Willis stops him.
Well, he
and-
hears the screams from outside the
Right,
door. He's supposed to like
yeah.
just be guarded, and he just couldn't
and he
take
goes
it.
in. Yeah, and he goes in and he just starts wailing on the senator for good measure.
He's the last Boy Scout.
Yeah, and they kick him out because of that. Because it's like you just beat up the senator.
Mm-hmm.
So I think maybe it's that he's just like I think it's just it's like I have my morals and principles and it got me kicked out of a good job and now I'm just doing these bummy private detective jobs.
Yeah, because he's like $500 is $500.
Right, I kind of like that.
Damn.
He's like, wait, you still want the job? $500 is $500, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
So I can relate to that.
Yeah, so he just seems troubled.
Yeah.
That's but he still is lovable.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he doesn't want to be. He doesn't mean to be.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah.
I could see people not liking him though. Like from a general audience perspective, maybe.
Yeah.
Like this guy's an asshole. You
Yeah.
know?
That's what I like about him.
But
though,
he like knows he's an asshole.
Yeah.
And just kind of rides with it.
Yeah.
And by the end, you kind of feel like, okay, he's still gonna be like he's still gonna be shit talking you like those snappy retorts, but he appreciates his family more and stuff like that.
Yeah,
now.
'cause,
his daughter's talking to him. Almost.
After we meet his daughter and this and that, and the daughter goes away, and it's Damon Wayans and Bruce Willis on the couch when they're kind of having their moment. He's got like he has the ice pack. He's like it's like sky's blue, water's wet, blah blah blah. It's like and he says something like and I can't deny the fact that I love my wife.
Yeah, I think he
like
says
even
I
after
wish...
she cheats on him, he still loves his wife, which
Yeah.
is again he's not a total prick.
No.
Like his family does mean a lot to him.
He's just like loyal and he's a Boy Scout. Yeah, I think that's what it all comes down to.
Yeah.
At least from Damon Wayans' perspective.
Right.
To the last Boy
The
Scout.
daughter of the last Boy Scout.
Yeah.
So soundtrack wise, we have the opening "Friday Night's a Great Night for
football."
and you hear a couple other songs. I think you guys recognize the one from Halle Berry dancing.
Riding on the range.
Yeah.
I've got my hat. Who's that by? Boys Next Door.
On.
We had to look it up.
Boys Don't Cry.
Boys Don't Cry.
Yeah, which I don't
Boys
know.
Next Door is another.
I've
band.
heard there's a song from The Cure called "Boys Don't Cry" that I know,
Right.
or maybe an album or
the
something.
Hilary Swank movie, Boys Don't Cry.
Yeah,
too.
and
Yeah.
so now there's a band called Boys Don't Cry, and that's a real song because we were like, is this a real song or did they make it up? You
Yeah,
said it sounded like Tim and Eric.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
totally does.
Yeah, seems
Yeah.
like kind of they're up their alley.
Yeah, she's like Halle Berry's dressed as like a cowgirl with like assless chaps, and
Yeah.
we were talking about it. We don't know if it's a body double. We think
Yeah,
it
because
is.
you never see her face when they show her body.
Yeah.
So it might be. I don't know.
She's got like spurs as pasties on her boobs and stuff like
Oh,
that.
I didn't notice that. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was just cracking up at it. It all felt so ridiculous to me because Over the Top is like that kind of like you said, almost like Depeche Mode, like instrumental of the song.
Yeah.
But then he's like riding on the range. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got my hat. Pause.
On.
On. Yeah. It's like, yeah. My boots.
Dusty. So funny.
The composer for this one was Michael Kamen.
I
he
didn't
do
know
Die
that
Hard?
until this watch. He's very good in my opinion. He's done one of my favorite scores of his is for The Dead Zone, the David Cronenberg movie. Did a really good score for that.
He scored like Die Hard.
Okay, yeah.
I knew he's a very
That's what I
proponent.
thought. So Die Hard's
very
a
proponent
great score, I
composer.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, maybe I just didn't notice it as much in this movie. I felt like, I don't-
Yeah, I don't really either.
It was more
I don't.
generic.
Yeah,
in a sense.
I can agree with that.
I did notice that whenever it's Damon Wayans' character, he plays like a really smooth bass. It's like a jazzy bass.
See, I didn't notice that
Dum,
either.
dum, 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 dum.
Yeah.
That part like stuck out to me in like a bad way. I was like, that kind of doesn't fit with the rest of the vibe of the movie because he does have very who were you saying is the next director that's a crazy big action film?
Michael Bay.
Michael Bay, very Michael Bay-ish action background tracks, just explosions and violins and stuff.
Right.
But then to stick like a random jazz bass in there was kind of weird.
Yeah.
And I heard that even the composer, he had a horrible time.
Yes.
With this film as well.
Thing after thing,
Nobody enjoyed this film.
Except I guess Danielle Harris. Probably because she was 13 years old.
Yeah.
She's like, movies are cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's,
Yeah,
like,
it's
miserable.
Oh my God, Bruce Willis! I'm in a movie with Bruce Willis.
Maybe, well, that's certainly probably part of why they never made a second one, because they definitely set it up at the end for, the
sequel.
Lethal Weapon-esque.
Right.
Rush Hour came after, and Rush Hour got sequels, so many. Did Tango and Cash get a sequel? Or
No.
Okay.
That's...
I've never seen Tango and Cash.
That's, like, the closest thing I can... Because that movie had problems, too. That's, like, the closest thing I can, like, compare this movie to.
Would you want a Last Boy Scout sequel? I was kind of thinking about it just now, and I'm like...
I mean, no,
cool.
but if they had made one... Again, if they had struck when the iron was hot and made one... Maybe, I mean,
Let's bring one back right now when they're really old.
Of course, yeah.
Bruce Willis now.
Yeah, and Damon
Wayans
Wayans. Oh God.
He's got the earpiece in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Feed me my
I'm sure his
lines.
quips would be so great.
I've got my hat.
That's how he
on.
would. That's how he would act. It's like, wait, what are you doing this "Boys Don't Cry" thing for? Remember that band?
Yeah.
They had that "I
It's
Want to Be a
meta.
Cowboy" song. Exactly. It's breaking. We're breaking new ground right here.
Oh man.
Because I like Lethal Weapon too.
Yeah.
I like Die Hard. I like the
Lethal
Die Hard
Weapon's
sequels.
okay.
It could have been good, but I'm glad. But at the same time, I'm glad they did. Well,
Aren't
it
there
sounds
like 5 Lethal Weapons? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
I've
There's
seen a
about
bunch, and I don't know what is from which movie.
I can kind of after 2, I'm kind of like, all right, 3 and 4, and I think there's only 4.
The only thing I remember from Lethal Weapon is he's like hanging from the side of a building at one point. Or am I thinking of the wrong one?
Maybe. Well, he goes. There's a suicide jumper, and Mel Gibson goes up and he stops him.
That's
but they
right,
do
that's
jump
what I'm
off. But they
thinking.
jump off safely onto like the playhouse. I'm talking about
Like when the
playhouse,
firemen invade
bounce
the
house.
thing.
Yeah, thing.
Yeah. I found this one to be a lot more memorable than Lethal Weapon.
Really?
Myself.
Would you say you like
I
this?
can't tell you anything about Lethal Weapon
Okay,
except the dude's hanging
wow.
off the side.
Okay. Wow.
I remember liking just the look of Lethal Weapon, and I haven't seen it
I
in
like
so
Lethal-
long.
well,
but
growing up,
it does
it
that
was-
gritty kind of like.
Growing up, I you know me, I idolized movies, and like the big ones were Terminator, Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, Speed, maybe. Like Lethal
Oh, yeah,
Weapons.
Speed. Speed's an interesting
Yeah,
one.
Lethal Weapons up there for me. I like Lethal Weapon. I like the first 2 a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even think about comparing it to this though. That's because this is my favorite Tony Scott movie. It's not my favorite Bruce Willis movie, but I think it's his most underrated movie that he's in.
Right.
Because
right.
again, no one fucking talks about this movie.
Yeah, I didn't know about it until you showed it to me.
Yeah.
He gets hit a lot in this movie too.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. I agree,
best.
but I mean, I can agree with you that the soundtrack's not the most memorable.
Yeah, no.
I would
However,
say that. Well, I
what
would
were
just
you
say
gonna
that the jazz element of it is kind of nice because it makes you think that you're in like one of those 50 like noir
Right.
crime detective films.
Right.
And there's definitely a lot of that to this movie. Like you said, they're not buddy cops. They're like almost like buddy detectives.
Yeah.
Or like detective and sidekick kind of almost type thing.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of weird that they play his theme as the more like bassy one when I don't know, he's sort of just kind of tagging along a lot of times.
Yeah.
Damon Wayans.
Going with the soundtrack, I do like the end credits when they play the Pat Boone song to end the movie.
Oh, because he says that to Halle Berry.
Yeah, he's like, I like Pat Boone and he's listening to in
What are
the
you, my
car.
father?
It's in the car when they throw the dead squirrel in. You can hear the song. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I think it's just fun. It's this old 50s song to play off this violent, visceral
Right.
movie. I just like that.
Good juxtaposition.
Yeah,
there.
exactly. I like that. I thought it was honestly the perfect way to end the movie.
Yeah.
We haven't. What were you gonna say?
Well, I just definitely think it's set up for a sequel, and it's just kind of funny that it never came. Like, does that kind of amuse you guys in a way? It does for me at least. Like, when a movie ends and you kind of can see like they wanted a sequel, but then like you just never get one. It's worse when it's like a really bad movie and they basically
Right.
end on like a cliffhanger that just
Right.
never gets a second movie. But
Right.
like for this one, I definitely thought like we'll be back. But
They did that
if
with
they
the-
didn't like each other, maybe they
Yeah.
just want to do it.
They did that with the 90s Godzilla. That ends very sequely, and it obviously never got a sequel.
Oh, see, that's frustrating almost, you know.
But like what Carlos asked, I think honestly it's for the best. We probably didn't get sequels.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that about these kind of movies. Is like, oh man, I wish they just never made sequels.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
right.
true.
Certain films.
Because then we get Scream 5 and Ghostbusters 4 or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's four.
Yeah,
I guess
you get
everybody
retcons.
does pretends the 2016 one didn't happen. And
Well, now we're watching this movie in 2022 and we're appreciating it, and it's just kind of a standalone thing. And
Yeah.
I saw that it said it did well in like video rental markets,
Right.
Like, so
it didn't.
I think people
box
appreciate
office,
it.
and even box office. It didn't do. It made its money back.
Yeah.
Oh, it
I,
did?
I don't think it made the money the studio wanted, especially after paying
All that
almost
money.
$2 million for the script. I don't think they wanted it to be a Die Hard level of success, which it wasn't. But it made its. I think it made them maybe like a $10 million profit.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Yeah. So you guys watched this both on Vudu.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have it on, and I was very disappointed. It's in the wrong aspect ratio. They blew it up to. It was shot 235:1, so it's wide. It's widescreen. This is technically widescreen too, but they cropped it. It looks like
on the
they
left
do
and
this-
right side, basically.
Yes, yeah, and they do this a lot for TV broadcasts. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe that's where they might have got this from. But yeah, that bums me out.
It's crazy that you noticed that though, because I
That's
watched the entire thing
first-
and I didn't
yeah.
notice anything.
Well,
like
and
that.
I just watched it yesterday.
Oh,
so-
okay, that makes sense.
The only thing I just felt like they were really close up on a lot of their faces,
and they are
because
because it's cropped. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just kind of like, oh, this is an interesting like style choice because, it didn't feel. I don't know. Tony Scott, you said what else did he direct?
Top Gun.
Top Gun, yeah. It didn't feel like Top Gun to me. Like,
Yeah. 'Cause
Top
that's-
Gun, they're not like close on these people. So I was
Ev-
kind of like, is this a director's
Yeah,
thing?
every Tony Scott movie I've ever watched, it's always been 235:1. That was his like
That's pretty
go-to
interesting.
aspect ratio. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And he's got all these camera angles and stuff too of scenes. I noticed that a lot too, and that was one thing I heard was hard for the editing is that they shot like on 4 cameras a lot of times.
right. Yeah.
And he likes to get like a crazy amount of footage.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. They
Extra
had.
footage.
That,
With
I think they
widescreen
said
and
that in that video you showed us. They had so much footage,
Yeah.
like hours upon hours of footage for this.
Yeah. That's too bad. I guess I'll have to watch it, and it's native.
Well, that's
you know.
the thing that really pisses me off is, the only, like you can buy the Blu-ray for us. It's a double feature with another Bruce Willis movie called Last Man Standing, which is a Walter Hill movie,
Whoa.
and it's okay. But the fact that again, no one fucking cares about this. Oh yeah, just throw it on a double feature with Last Man. No, Last Boy Scout. Nobody fucking cares. The only person famous that I've heard say anything good about this movie is Edgar Wright. He likes this movie a lot. Other than that, no one talks about this.
Well, but that makes sense that you would throw it in as a double feature because I was texting you and I said I can't find any behind the scenes videos.
Yeah.
I can't find any
Exactly.
commentary or anything on this movie.
And I think it'll always be like that because no one fucking liked making this movie.
Yeah, they kinda just
except
wanted to
for
leave it in the
Danielle.
past.
I could see Danielle Harris. Danielle Harris seems like a really cool chick. She kind of got screwed over when they were making Halloween 6. There's a little video of it, and she's very candid about it. Like, so when they were making Halloween 6, she was 17, and they wanted to cast someone older because of they just didn't want to deal with her being a minor because it was her scenes were so little. They didn't want to have to deal with all that. So she actually legally, I think it's called emancipated herself. So she was she had to pay like thousands of dollars and go through all this court stuff to get herself declared a legal adult. Or
Damn.
like her own guardian, I think is what
yeah.
it was. So she could be in the movie. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. And then they said, well, we're going to pay you scale, like the lowest scale, because your scenes are so small. She's like, I just paid thousands of dollars to let you guys, let me be in the movie and be my character. And you're only going to pay me this? So they went with somebody else.
Oh, wow.
And she's like, throughout the whole, she's like, yeah, and it was kind of fucked up. Like, just the way she talks about it is just so, like, yeah, it's just a really shitty situation. It was kind of fucked up.
That's
So it's like, if I ever met her, I would ask her about Last Boy Scout and see because she's very, again, candid, and just, I'm sure, like, hopefully she's, from what I've read, she's had good things to say about it in the past.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's, because, yeah, Tony Scott didn't like it, Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans couldn't stand each other, and Shane Black didn't like the final product, and Joe Silver didn't like the final product, and Tony Scott and Joe Silver didn't like each other, and there's rumors that the producer in True Romance is based off of Joe Silver and how much Tony Scott didn't like him.
Jeez.
But yeah, it came out and made a little bit of money, but that's about it for Last Boy Scout.
Yeah.
No one really ever talks about it.
Yeah.
And we have a crappy, double feature Blu-ray of it, and I think that's because, again, Tony Scott's passed away, and I doubt Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans are going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Right. It's just kind of a thing.
I doubt Joe Silver's going to talk about it. So I think, unfortunately, I don't really see it going anywhere. I would like to think maybe someday someone get their hands on it and give it the respect it deserves, in my opinion. But I don't know. No one really cares about it.
No.
Makes me so sad.
Sort of falls to the wayside of all these other, similar films. Too.
Yeah, because one thing I was thinking about, like, the first part of the 90s, I feel like the action movies still felt like 80s action movies to an extent. Like, do you think, like, this kind of still fits in with, like, the Die Hards and the almost, like, the Rambos and the,
Well, this is 91, so it's pretty early.
Yeah, because I feel like even Speed's, like, 94. I feel like that still kind of has a 80s action vibe to it, almost.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Bigger.
But, yeah. What'd you guys think? If we're on to that.
Should we rate it?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm down.
Who wants to rate it?
You want to go first?
You wanna go,
How about you? Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first
Okay.
this time. I don't think I've gone first.
Yeah.
What should I give this one? Okay, I think I'm ready. All right, so we're doing the rating now. I'll go first, guys. I think that on a scale of 5, I would give this one a 3.5. After my second watch through, the shock factor, like, of the intros kind of wore off, so
Yeah.
I could actually, like, analyze the acting this time around. And I don't know, I wasn't too excited over Damon Wayans acting in this movie. And I was texting you guys and I was telling you guys, I don't know if it's the acting or the way that the voiceovers are done.
I forgot to bring that up. Yeah, because I noticed that too. Like, the voice, there's a lot of it's like
Dubbing is like
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, it does feel like dubbing.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did
that-
notice
there
that.
was a ton of that.
Yeah.
So I kind of noticed that more this time around, and I was like, oh, okay, that kind of lowers my score a little bit. The acting isn't the best ever. Especially from Damon. I don't know if this is like his early career.
It's got it,
He seems
yeah.
pretty young.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wasn't too excited about him.
And he was probably doing comedy at the time more so than
Then
something
like
a little more
acting,
serious. Yeah.
in an action film. But they do have their cool moments. They're good one-liners. I still do really love the introduction, the shock factor of it. Whenever people talk about this movie with me, I'm like, oh yeah, the one where he like shoots a bunch of people in the beginning when he's playing football. Like that's a crazy intro.
It
I
is.
love it. I respect it for that. And then such a great outro when he's all like, if we make it through this, I'm gonna dance a jig. And dude gets sliced up in a helicopter, so he does a jig. That's badass to me.
Yeah.
That's a dope action film.
Yeah.
The middle part is a little bit forgettable. We get a couple cool one-liners in there. What's his name? Furry Tom rescues the day with the revolver, and we get a couple cool kills.
Yeah.
But knowing that the director Tony Scott did True Romance, I can definitely see his style in these two movies now.
Yeah.
Like we were saying, the violence. He likes to show a lot of violence.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't like take the camera away when somebody's getting executed. He'll like zoom in. Like in the beginning, we see the quarterback, a bullet goes through his head. Like, oh yeah, that guy's dead. Okay, cool. And he likes to show those effects too. Yeah, the plot. We were talking about the plot. It's an okay plot. I don't think we really mentioned though now is DraftKings and all of those kind of websites are taking over.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's a lot of sports gambling now.
Yeah.
This
especially with
movie was right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
especially with the
years
Super
ago.
Bowl coming up on
Yep.
Sunday.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's interesting. You know, sports gambling. That's something that you don't really hear about too
Yeah,
much
exactly.
in movies.
Yeah.
I guess
So
the
it's
mob
like-
lost that one.
Yeah,
So,
the
yeah.
mob.
I guess so.
Rest in peace to the mob.
Yeah.
Yeah, great one-liners. Yeah, we were talking about the soundtrack a little bit. Wasn't the best soundtrack for me, but I do play that in my head, like especially yesterday on Friday. I was like, Friday night, it's a great night for football. I kept singing it all night.
It's so
That's
catchy.
hilarious.
This is making dinner.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd give this one a 3.5, guys. It's a lot of fun, great action, cool scenes, but you know, performances might have sunk it for me on this one. Yeah.
I get that. Yeah.
And I think this was Roman's first viewing.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
would you give it, Roman?
My first time around. I think I would actually steal your 3.5. Yeah. You know, I liked it a lot. It was a good time. There are like good characters in this movie too. You know, I think the second act maybe is a little bit slower, like you were saying, but I kind of like respect it because they were going after like doing more character development and stuff, and like kind of building up the relationship between Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans and all that stuff. So, you know, I liked all that. Like it was a little different, and they both have like the charisma, and the writing is funny enough to kind of like pull it off. But it definitely does slow it down a little bit in terms of like just being like an action movie and stuff like that. And there are small things like the dubbing, or you know, I'm laughing at scenes where I don't know if I'm supposed to laugh sometimes, and that was mostly the car chase scene that I think I brought up earlier. Like it was just so bouncy, and well, you know, plus now I know I watched it in like the wrong ratio too, so it's just like it was like zoomed in on their faces.
Yeah, it's
And I'm like, what
cramped.
is this happening? What is
Yeah.
going on? And it's like 5 minutes, or it felt that long anyway. But you know, with all that said, I still thought it was a good time, good humor. You know, just like clever little writing here and there and stuff like that. The story was cool enough, and like big explosions, and you know, good squibs. You know, like I'm just recently kind of like learning what squibs are, but like
We love the squid.
you could totally
Yeah,
tell the
squibs
difference
are
between
awesome.
that and like a CGI like blood
Definitely.
spatter.
Definitely.
So yeah, like when Halle Berry gets blown apart, she gets like shredded.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, all that stuff.
And it is nice seeing a young Halle Berry too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of course.
yeah, young Halle
Can't
Berry.
go wrong with that.
You know, Bruce Willis just trying to like fight for his family, which I think is a
Yeah.
big theme in all his movies a lot of times.
Yeah.
Um,
And he has an arc. You know, he kind of comes out of this a better person. It seems like at the end.
Yeah.
totally, yeah. Damon Wayans
I
too.
mean,
you
even
know?
his wife too, probably,
Yep.
and his daughter.
Yeah, they're all like, it's like happily ever after he
Yeah.
just killed like 13 people.
Yes. Yeah.
But you got to do what you got to do, you know.
Exactly.
But yeah, so I'd say 3.5 stars. You know, it's definitely worth a rewatch, and you know, it is kind of fun to watch this one before Super Bowl Sunday because,
Yeah.
like you said, the whole thing with sports betting, and plus like I don't know as much about the NFL, but I know in like the NBA for a while they were kind of having a bad reputation because players were getting into fights and bringing guns into locker rooms and all this
Yeah.
stuff, so they had to kind of reassess their image and stuff like that.
Right,
And that's
yeah.
you know, that's a very real world thing that happens.
Definitely. Yeah.
So in the movie, that's a big part of the plot, and
Yeah.
yeah. So it hit a little close to home on some parts, but it made me laugh. It made me cry. No, not really, but you know, it just made me be like, oh shit, a couple times.
Yeah.
So all that together, 3.5 stars.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about you, Ian?
I'm gonna give it a 4.
All right,
Personally,
all right, yeah.
Nice.
I like it a lot. It has everything I want in a movie. It's got sex, drugs, violence. You know, if you got those three, you know, they do a decent amount for me.
Oh yeah.
I do like the acting even from Damon Wayans. I think the scene with him and Bruce Willis in the bathroom, I think he does a good job right there. And even when he's talking about his dead wife and son, I think he does a pretty decent job for just, you know, a guy that was on In Living Color doing comedy skits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought the chemistry between Bruce Willis and Damon Wayans was really good, even though they couldn't stand each other behind the scenes. It doesn't come across in the movie at all to me. I thought Damon Wayans and Danielle Harris had good chemistry. Yeah, I think it's interesting that the whole plot revolves around sports gambling, and I think it is an underrated movie. I might overrate it, myself. I might talk it up a little too much, and people might go watch it and be like, "It wasn't that good." But I don't know. It just bums me out that this movie just gets forgotten about, because I think it is worth more worth than what it got. And it got kind of like Roger Ebert. That's one thing I want to bring up too. Roger Ebert gave it 3 out of 4 stars.
Oh wow,
which isn't bad, obviously.
That's great.
But he named it a bunch of things, and one of the things he called this movie was misogynistic. Do you guys think this is a misogynistic movie?
Oh, I didn't really get that.
I didn't really get it either.
Especially with the little girl yelling back. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
And with Damon Wayans kind of helping the chick out in the beginning with the hot tub.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe he's talking about like maybe because they're strippers, like how they even say like strippers,
right?
And he's like exotic dance.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
So I don't know. I could see it both ways.
Was maybe.
Plus, like the way the wife is just kind of like, I don't know. The whole cheating thing is kind of just weird. It's sort of glossed over. Like Bruce Willis is like, you cheated on me. Like, I deserved it. So, but I don't know. I didn't really necessarily get misogynistic. No.
The owner towards the end, he calls Halle Berry like she was like the best something whore.
Yeah. But I felt like that was on purpose to make you mad at him.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, precisely. I'm gonna give it a 4. I think it's my favorite Tony Scott movie. One of my favorite Bruce Willis movies. And it's nice to see people like Edgar Wright feel the same way about it too. So glad I'm not the only one.
And it's definitely worth the watch.
Yeah.
I think you should at least watch it.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a fan of similar movies.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen Bruce Willis when he's John McClane? Like, look at him now as Joe. I forget his name.
Hallenbeck. Yeah.
Oh, we forgot to bring that up too. His last name Hallenbeck.
Well, in the video, guys, like, is it Helen back?
Yeah.
That's funny.
I don't know. Maybe.
I'll go to hell and back to save my wife, but then that's gonna get rewritten out of the script in the last half.
Oh, we forgot. Yeah, the script. Like there was like
that's probably why
Milo was like a snuff film director or something
in the movie.
Yeah.
You know what? That did throw me. I think it was Milo. He's like, I have your daughter, and if you don't
I'll show her what a hot date I am.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
That part was weird, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, he was the director of snuff films, and I think that's what he's gonna do to Bruce Willis's wife in the original script.
Dang.
That's how they rescue his wife like that. Is that what you read too?
I didn't even see any of that. That's crazy. I'm just like nodding because I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
But that kind of fits the whole craziness of it. If they had to rewrite it to make it NC-17.
Again, that's what I like about it too. It's just it's very dark and adult. I really like that. It's
yeah, it's a good quality of it for sure.
Yeah, it's just and again, probably releasing it around Christmas wasn't probably the best time for this movie. It's more kind of a summer blockbuster.
Yeah, definitely.
Vibes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I looked it up. It came out the same weekend as Hook.
Oh.
And Hook got the #1 spot. Last Boy Scout got #2, and I would have sat my ass in the seat for Last Boy Scout definitely that weekend.
Hook, definitely more of a family feel for the
I
Christmas
don't like Hook
time.
at all. So,
really?
No.
I love
even as a kid. I know. That's why I wanted to bring it up, because I know you told me in the past you like Hook. Would you take Hook over Last Boy Scout?
Ooh.
If that weekend,
two different movies.
Yeah, but that weekend, you're going out to see a movie.
Well, in '91 I wasn't even born, so I guess
if you were Marty McFly, you took a
then
DeLorean back in time to that weekend, and you wanted to go see a movie for some reason.
I want to see the crowd reaction to Last Boy Scout.
Exactly.
Like in a packed theater.
Yeah,
That'd be so
exactly.
fun.
Yeah, just the guy getting misted at the end by the helicopter.
Yeah.
I just laughed. I was like,
what the fuck? Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
One thing I want to ask you too, Carlos, Die Hard or this? Would you choose Die Hard or this movie?
This one.
Really?
I'm not a big Die Hard guy.
Okay. What about you, Roman?
I'd probably choose Die Hard.
I choose Die Hard too, even though I like this movie so much. But I respect that choice very much.
But maybe it's because this one is
like
more of a sleeper film, so chances are,
Yeah, it's
like, if you show up to a party,
it's the underdog.
Like everybody's
movie's-
seen Die Hard at the party.
Yeah.
Hey guys, let's watch Last Boy Scout.
That's
like,
a very
this
good
shit'll
point.
blow
Yeah,
you
I
away.
would probably. You're right. I would probably show. I would be more willing to watch The Last Boy Scout because of that. But I think, if
Die
I,
Hard's a better film.
I think so.
Yeah, like my
Yeah.
girlfriend had never seen Die Hard, so if I had seen this movie years ago when I first showed her Die Hard, I wouldn't probably be like, I gotta show you Last Boy Scout. I think I would still be like, yo, you gotta see Die Hard. Like,
Yeah.
you've never seen it?
Yeah.
Come on, let's watch it.
Yeah.
Because Die Hard's just
It's Die Hard.
dope as fuck.
Die Hard's
yeah.
Die Hard. I know you.
And I think it's a way better performance.
I
Out of Bruce
understand.
Willis.
I understand where you're coming from. It's annoying when Christmas time comes around. No, it's a Christmas movie. I totally get that. Because, and again, no one, like we said earlier, no one brings up that Lethal Weapon. It's like, why is it always Die Hard?
Mm-hmm.
It does get
It just
over.
became like a thing.
I think I told you, like you said, it's overrated. I'm like, maybe more overexposed around Christmas time.
Maybe that's what it is.
Because I do think it's a good movie, but I respect your opinion on it too. Because shit like that annoys me also.
Yeah.
People always, yeah, Die Hard Christmas movie. Whoa, yeah, totally. People getting killed. Christmas, what? Wow, it's crazy.
People don't get killed at Christmas.
Exactly. Yeah, people watch How the Grinch Stole Christmas at Christmas time, not Die Hard. What? Whoa. Yeah. But I hope you guys enjoyed doing this, because I'm the one who I felt like I kind of strong-armed us into doing this, and I hope it paid off.
No, yeah,
I wanna
definitely.
talk about it.
All right.
I like it.
That's
I like
good.
it because it fits in with all the other movies we've watched too.
Yeah,
so far.
it does,
But it's still
right.
football too.
Yeah, exactly. I try to, make it kind of fun like that with my choices.
Yeah. No, this is a fun one,
All
definitely.
right, I'm glad.
Good, like fun movie, and one you can just kind of like watch and like have it on and half pay attention to, and it's still fun. But like if you really get into it, it's still interesting, and there's good relationships and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, brings
I
you
agree.
both the best of both worlds. a little
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yeah, hopefully, if you've never seen this movie, I think we can all say we recommend people watching this.
bit. Yeah.
Watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, go watch it, especially if you're a Bruce Willis fan and all that stuff.
Yeah, it deserves more exposure. I'm bringing this movie to the light. It's my trek.
I'm gonna expose you.
Yeah, I'm gonna expose how good of a movie it is.
Good stuff.
Until next time, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Next time. Thank you guys.
Later.
Have a happy Super Bowl.
Happy Super Bowl.
Let's go!